So, welcome back to New England Next Gen. So, today I'm going to be talking about ice just in general, just because that's what I've been doing a lot of footage of. And I don't want you to think that I just go out there, on my I don't know, what's the word? I'm trying to think. For my own liking, I guess I should say, or as a hobby. It's not really a hobby, it's just something that we believe that is true to be protected, and we need to support our ICE agents. And a lot of people will disagree, but I'm going to explain why. One of the main things that we need to be more aware of and why we should be. So I'm going to go and give a video real quick. I thought it was kind of funny to include a video of my friend yelling at the protesters, just because it gives a context for how the conservatives feel on the conservative side and things you might not have thought of. And then just look at the reaction of the other side, which is the left, Democratic leftists, essentially. All right, you ready? Go.
Deport illegal immigrants! Illegal immigrants are raping U.S. citizens! Why are you guys supporting rape?
So that was the video, right? And you could go on, New England Next Gen go in my shorts, and then you'll find this video to watch the full one. All right, so, but I wanted to go into this, and I'm going to leave this up just so in case you wanted to read that. But I'm going to, and I'll scroll down on that just as I go, but I want to speak to this. So, all right. And that way you can look it up. Look up Patriot 2.0, and it's the operation actually here in Massachusetts for ICE and what they're supposed to be doing. So today I'm going to talk about ICE, immigration, and customs enforcement, specifically here in Mass. Not talking points, not slogans, not outrage, facts, real cases, real victims, and why this actually matters for public safety. So, why does ICE exist? ICE exists to do one specific thing that state systems often cannot, which is remove non citizens who commit serious crimes when the local system releases them back to the public. And in Massachusetts, judges are often required by law to release defendants, so even for violent crimes, due to the bail rules, sanctuary policies, or lack of detainer cooperation. ICE is the backstop when that happens, right? So think about it. You could have these repeat offenders, and the courts don't have any other choice. If they make bail, then they just release them back out because they can't hold them or detain them, even if they're just illegal and you want to stop them. There's not a system in place to stop them except for ICE. Uh, so what happens without ICE? I asked that. If ICE doesn't exist in Massachusetts, here's the reality. People charged with rape, child sexual assault, and trafficking could be released after court, and local authorities often cannot legally hold them. Deportation is not enforced, and repeat offenses become possible. So ICE does not replace the courts, it acts when the courts cannot hold someone. That is their job. The judge release problem, right? We're going to explain it clearly. This part is uncomfortable, but it matters, right? Judges always have discretion, or don't always. Sorry, I messed that completely up. Judges don't always have discretion. See, I'm human. In many cases, even after rape or child sexual assault charges, defendants are released pending trial. That does not mean that the crime didn't happen. It just means that the criminal process continues outside of a jail cell. ICE steps in after release, not to punish, but to further prevent harm. I can't speak today. So, Massachusetts cases, I looked into a few because I wanted it to give us context, because you're just saying this, right? I'm just saying it just to say it. So I don't want to call these hypotheticals. I'm going to bring up some cases, all right? And they're actually a lot. When I looked this up, I was so super surprised because it's really close to a lot of the neighborhoods that I can drive through, like on my way to work or just in general. So it's crazy to think that this is happening like right in my, I don't know, not right in my backyard per se, not like right there, but very close. So case number one, George Garcia-Hernandez. It was out of Fall River. He was convicted of rape of a child under the age of 16, plus assault and drug offenses on school property, right? How, I wonder? Like, was he an educator and like the school hired him as an illegal? Who knows, right? And then he was released previously to this happening. ICE finally arrested him and placed him into removal proceedings. So without ICE, he would have remained in that community. Case two is Kamsoth Pet. That's in New Bedford. convicted of rape of a child and multiple counts of indecent assault on minors. Actually no, and before ICE even detained him, he also assaulted a police officer. And then ICE detained him after he was locally released from the courts. Like the courts still released him out into the streets again, and ICE was just like, "No, we're gonna, go get him because we can't have our American citizens having this happen, especially because it's on minors, guys. It's on children. It was rape of a child." Um, Number three, George Alberto, is it Menjivar? It's Menjivar dash Lawrence. So this is in Lawrence, Mass. Convicted of multiple counts of aggravated rape of a child by force. He's serving a prison sentence and flagged by ICE to ensure he is not released back into the public after completion. So they're still waiting for him. That's how recent this was. Case number 4. Arajo Alicio Alves. This is out of Taunton. Charged with assault with intent to rape. ICE took custody after state processes allowed release. So, like, this person was charged with assault with intent to rape someone. They actually did this, but when the state decided, the judge was like, they can't keep them for any other reason until, next court date, whatever, they just released the person. I mean, and it's dangerous, right? And then number 5, Wellington Ramos de Souza. This is out of Danvers, facing right now, currently, a pending rape charge. Arrested by ICE during a statewide operation after, guess what? Local release. Again, released right up back onto the street, even after having a pending rape charge. And case 6 is Raj Kumar Saw out of Boston, which, we all know at this point, seeing this, it's like, yep, the mayor of Boston does nothing, and she's ineffective because this person was charged with enticement of a child for prostitution / human trafficking related offenses, but then ICE intervened after release. So ICE detained them, and these are not traffic violations like people are like, oh, they just got a ticket, then they detain them. Like, no, like these are huge charges, and these are not paperwork issues. These are violent crimes involving children. Almost all of them involve like a rape of a child. So let's go back to, how did ICE help with this? ICE helped in 3 critical ways. Number 1, prevented repeat offenses. 2, removed individuals the courts could not hold. And 3, created accountability when the system failed the victims. ICE didn't replace the justice system, it just stepped in where the justice systems couldn't. So, like, we definitely need to fix the court systems with these kind of charges, because why should we be letting them go out onto the street and just releasing them? Because all of our laws that are in place, like, because of the laws, we'll just let another rapist go back onto the street. Like, it makes no sense. And then the next child, what if it's your child? So, anyway, I'm going to get way too into that. Addressing the claim, right? So ICE is kidnapping people, right? Let's just go to that, because that's what people say. I'm going to challenge this idea respectfully, guys. ICE does not grab random people off the street. ICE arrests after criminal charges, convictions, and releases. And if ICE were kidnapping people, judges, courts, and federal oversight would not be involved. What ICE actually does is close the gap between public safety and legal limitations. That's literally what their job is. They have to go and step in where the laws don't, like, they're basically created to be there where the law system can't help but wants to protect its citizens. So has ICE, because you need some kind of entity to handle people who are not American citizens committing crimes to our people. And so here's for critics, right? I want to give you a thinking exercise. Here's a question I want people to honestly sit with. If someone charged with raping a child is released by a judge, who should be responsible for stopping them from doing it again? Who? Because are you going to go out there? Are you going to go find them and you going to go get them off the street? If your answer is no one, then that's not compassion. That's abandonment of victims. Like, you just don't care at that point, and you're just a heartless person. Because these are children. These aren't just adults that are getting hurt. And there are adults getting hurt, but I'm at the core right now, where pretty much every single one of these sexual offenses of people who have been detained by ICE recently, just within weeks, and like all these cases have been going. This is just the last year. I didn't grab all of them from like previous years. This is just this year, 2025. So without the, I'm going to keep going, start to close a little bit. Uh, you know, and for the Christians, because I know people are saying they're on the other side, and I'm not a good Christian if I'm supporting ICE, but I'm going to explain this to you. The Bible is very clear about justice and protection. It says, Proverbs 31, 8 through 9 says, Speak for those who cannot speak for themselves. Defend the rights of the poor and the needy. Protecting communities and children is not hatred. It's a moral responsibility that we all have, right? So this conversation necessarily isn't about politics. It's about whether we're willing to protect the vulnerable, even when it's uncomfortable. ICE exists because sometimes the system lets dangerous people walk free. And in Massachusetts, that reality matters and it really does exist. So I just want to go in because, when people want to go, okay, like, what's going on with ICE? And when we see them on the streets in other towns and we see them on Facebook, your social media, whatever, just, this is what I asked, what is Patriot 2.0? So ICE Patriot 2.0, it's a federal U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which is ICE, operation in Massachusetts. It's aimed at locating and arresting undocumented immigrants with criminal records, including those previously released by local authorities despite federal detainer requests. Because you have these like mayors, like you guys, like, you have these Democratic mayors that maybe you support, and they're just allowing these people back out on the street and they just don't care. And then you wonder why conservatives are so pissed because their children, it might be their child that got raped, and their rapist gets to go free on the street, and then you're over there protesting to defend these people. Like, it doesn't make any sense, and then you wonder why we look crazy. But if it happened to you, would you be on the same side as you are right now? Think about that, guys. So Patriot 2.0, I scroll down a little bit, is a follow-up to an earlier enforcement surge in May 2025 called Operation Patriot, which resulted in nearly 1,500 arrests. The primary goal of Patriot 2.0 is to target the worst of the worst criminal illegal aliens, focusing on individuals involved in violent crimes such as murder, rape, child sexual abuse, drug trafficking, and gang activity. So, right? The operation specifically addresses individuals previously released by local law enforcement who federal officials say pose significant public safety risks. So they don't just like drive down the street and just, oh, you know what, there's a rapist. Like, no, the federal law officials of your state or your town, whatever, they give like a like a you know certain a list of individuals that pose significant public safety risks and lets them know who they need to go after. um so this is, if they say certain mayors, when you see them on the news being like telling their local law enforcement to not cooperate with ICE, they're not able to do their job and save our citizens from sexual abuse. So that's why we're not like, that's why it enrages the right, because we need to have them. Why would we tell our police not help ICE? Because shouldn't you guys be on the same team? I mean, we're protecting the citizens. You're not following your oath if you're not doing that. If the police officers are letting repeat offenders go out there and just rape people and not help ICE get them, then you are failing your oath. I know, but they're gonna say, well, I will lose my job. Well, maybe you're on the wrong side. Maybe you need to become an ICE agent at that point, because you're really not helping the American citizens and protecting them and doing your duty if you're not. So that's just my opinion, though. but but yeah, so this whole thing happened, and I went on a whole thing. I was trying to look down here. Um, so this operation of 2.0 began in early September and is expected to continue over several weeks, with activity reported in multiple Massachusetts counties, including Boston and Clinton. During the operation, federal agents make arrests of individuals both with prior criminal convictions and those named on a foreign arrest warrants or Interpol. Many arrested individuals, will remain in ICE custody pending legal removal proceedings or deportation. And in local context, it says 2.0 has been controversial due to sanctuary policies in the cities like Boston. Local officials, including Mayor Wu, has defended these policies, emphasizing community trust and local public safety, while federal authorities criticize them as hindrances enforcing immigration law. And like I already went on a mini rant, but the police enforcement need to be doing their job. So the mayor needs to back up the police and say, okay, yes, we should need to be doing our job, protecting our citizens in our town. It makes zero sense why she would want to. The only reason why she would want to keep these legal immigrants on the street is because when they do a census, they have so many people in their population. And just so you know, the more population that you have in your area, the more seats for the Senate that you get so that they can vote more Democratic people into the office. They don't actually give a crap about their citizens. What they're saying to you when they're doing all of this is that they don't care about you. And you need to come to terms with that because they really don't care about you. Which at that point, technically, they're not following their oath either, and they should be removed. But that's to an extreme, of course, in this opinion. So tensions have escalated with lawsuits and disagreements over federal authority versus local enforcement policies. So, at the end of the day, I'm just breaking it down. This is just one aspect that basically I'm trying to explain how it's important for this whole 2.0 to continue because we need to be getting rid of the criminals and the rapists, children rapists, and sex traffickers right now in this is just in Massachusetts, and why we need to support our agents to protect our children. And that's all I got for you guys. I mean, I'm going to be going to ICE tomorrow to be on the supporting ICE side. I think they're doing a great job. I wish they could find more people to protect our citizens from, just because we want to keep our children safe. And I hope that you have a great day. I know that you might not agree on this. Feel free to comment and challenge me on things that I've said. I'm always up for a debate, up for a discussion. But I just really feel like it's needs to be said because a lot of people are like, oh, they only see what's on media, but you really need to look into it. Like, I challenge you, if there's anything that you can do, I would say go onto your web browser, right, and look up cases of, you know, illegal immigrants, in your area, and see what comes up for like offenses and what's happened. Or basically, you can look up what is ICE doing in my local community, and then see that. I implore you to do that because you can find out that there's so much that they're doing, like, positive in your life that you're not defending them for, and they're not kidnapping people off the street. In fact, my next episode is going to be about how they're not kidnapping people off the street and how they have to follow the law and that they are doing their job. So I'm going to go into that in my next episode. So stay tuned. Feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you so much and love you guys. Bye.